You did it. You blew it up. You bastards. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Down Roll.
I resisted.
That's Will.DM. This is Atom. And today, we're going to talk about sharing. Because sharing is caring. That's what I've learned.
Sharing is fundamental.
So today, we're going to talk about sharing. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about sharing your campaign world.
Yes.
So, why don't we start with this?
Okay. Let's start.
What is a shared campaign role, and why should I have one, or shouldn't I have one? I don't know.
That is a great question.
Because I don't like to share.
Really?
I like to keep everything.
You seem like a sharing kind of guy.
Fuck no.
Oh.
What's mine is mine.
Is it? Okay.
So what?
Are you the kind of guys like, it's yours, now give me some? Okay.
Hand off.
All right.
When I was a kid, I used to go trick-or-treating, right? As kids do.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't really like candy. You wouldn't know by looking at me, but I still don't like candy. So I used to...
Why don't you like candy? You're not a sugar guy?
No, I'm a sweets guy.
But it's the same thing.
Sweets and sugars are the polar opposite of things.
The fuck they are.
Oh, wait, I said sweets, didn't I? I meant salty.
And this is why our kids don't understand it.
I don't have the fundamental usage of the English language. But anyway, so I used to hide my candy, Halloween candy, and my brother and sister would eat theirs in like hours, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then I would sell my candy to them after Halloween for 10 cents a pop.
Smart. Only 10. Well,
I was a little kid. What did I do?
I was about to say only 10 cents, and then I was like, I'm thinking in an inflational sense.
Right.
If I was selling my candy back then, 10 cents is a great.
This was the 80s.
Yeah. 50 cents for a comic book. That's 5 pieces of candy. Hell yeah. All right, cool. I'm down.
All right. So anyway, I digress. So what's a shared campaign world?
It's actually something. It's funny because it's known by a lot of people, but at the same time, it's not really it's not popular.
You don't have a basic fundamental
prevalent in role playing. What a shared world is one where all of the players within your group are actually actively participating in the shaping of the world and the story, and generally you will have more than one game master, dungeon master, so forth and so on, that participate in.
Not at one time, I imagine.
Well, yes and no. They'll participate in it when it comes to like background and backstory and stuff like that, but the day-to-day creation of, like, say, NPCs and different things like that happen on the fly, that all occurs during one of the dungeon masters or one of the game masters running of the game while they're running it. You wouldn't have both
turns and such.
That's generally. I mean, there are some I've heard of where basically you'll have a number of different people in the group are designated as the dungeon masters, and what they'll do is, like, while one might be actively DMing, the other one might take on the role of doing some NPC work for them. that's a little bit rarer. You don't really hear about that so much. But yeah, they'll take turns. And then basically what'll happen is what one DM does, and then when they change and another DM picks up, then the story can change in ways that, you know, the first dungeon master didn't even know or foresee might happen. So
now does this weird, what's the word, sharing of worlds, does it have to have more than one DM or GM?
It doesn't.
So how would it work otherwise? Who are you sharing with otherwise?
I think technically for it to be an actual shared world, it really needs to have more than one dungeon master.
I would assume so.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just having the players involved in the world creation, which isn't really sharing.
That's
so I'm going to have
sharing.
to say that's not. So I'm going to. It definitely has to have more than one dungeon master, because basically the big thing about sharing, what makes it sharing, is that what one person does is not necessarily concrete, and other things can happen in the world that even the person who is currently the dungeon master doesn't know might happen, because somebody else is getting ready to, you know, in the wings, that's going to take up the storyline and continue it on. So yeah.
What's the benefit of this thing?
This is a benefit if you've got a group where nobody wants to be a long-term dungeon master. It also will definitely help out with DM burnout. It'll help prevent that a lot. So even if one of the people who does other DMing doesn't do it all the time. Gygax even had this.
What?
You got it.
He gave up control?
He gave up certain amounts of control. Exactly. Part of it was
sound like him from what I've learned about him.
Well, you obviously haven't read the right stuff. What it was is, I think part of it was there was a little bit of him wanting to play, but the big reason up behind it was more because of business. As TSR as a company grew, and the home campaign that Gygax ran, which you have to understand, the home campaign wasn't so much it was as much a game to have fun as it was for play testing and devising new rules and streamlining things. So it was actually, even though it was a game, it was actually work that they were doing at the same time. So as Gygax becomes more involved in the company, he has less time to put into the DM prep and so forth. And that's when he brings in Rob Kuntz, who then starts as the second. And I think there's at least maybe one or two more that end up DMing, but only a little bit. I could be wrong in that, but I know for a fact that Rob Kuntz was the number 2 DM.
How do you spell that?
Kuntz.
Yeah.
I know where you're going.
I thought so.
you want okay.
He's close personal friends with Michael Moorcock, right?
There you go. Yeah. You want to know something funny? It's like I got a video the other day where it was the videos that they put together for the visually impaired. So what it is, they're videos of books, right? So they got that robotic name that's reading things, and it had one, and it was about D&D history, and Mr. Kuntz was in there, but that's not how it was pronounced. It was funny. So I don't think I finished answering the question. What was
I don't know. What was the question?
What was the question?
What are the benefits of a shared campaign world? You kind of answered that, I think, didn't you?
Well, I think we were talking about how much the DMs have to be involved. Is that maybe what we were doing? I don't know. Well,
I just told you what the question was. You just like to keep talking. That's really what it is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. We've actually created a drinking game. You didn't join us last time when we premiered this on Twitch. So Chad and I came up with a drinking game where you drink when it looks like I've completely tuned you out.
I actually saw that because I rewatched it. I had to go back to afterwards. I like the one where he's like, it's like you can tell. And I love that when you think of a question to ask, you can totally see it too because you're all like,
I don't have a good poker face.
No, and then you're like, oh, I know what I'm going to ask.
So anyway, what are the drawbacks of a shared campaign?
That's what I didn't finish talking about the benefits of it.
What?
Let me
touch on
that.
Benefits are there?
Well, aside the to helping to prevent
we got burnout.
It helps prevent that from happening.
We've got
prep. It
prep.
also will keep the world from being too predictable. Now, this can be depending on the dungeon master or game master. Somebody who, if you're a player with a one DM and the one DM is the only guy that you're playing with, you are going to, in certain circumstances, pretty much know what's going to happen because you know basically the style of your dungeon master. If there's multiple dungeon masters, that changes that up, and it changes up how the backstory, or I shouldn't say the backstory, but the currently building background of the story goes. Because while NPCs that are introduced during one dungeon master's sessions might act or be of a certain venue or genre or what have you, the other DMs might not. They might be completely different. So it helps keeps things a little bit more fresh for everybody too.
Yeah, I think it could also. I forgot what I was going to say because you kept talking.
You got to keep a pen and paper. Do what Letterman used to do and just jot down a quick note.
I got a pad right here. I got a pen and a pencil. I didn't use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ask the last question.
I bet it was going to be a really good one.
Everything you say is just gold.
It was brilliant.
Too. Insightful.
It's a shame. It might have even brought tears to people's eyes.
I'm pretty sure lots of people cry when you talk.
It's true. And I'm assuming it's because I'm so moving.
Yes. At least that's what I would tell you.
Yeah.
But I'm not a mean guy, so yeah.
That's where you and I differ.
There it is.
Yeah, I don't remember. Something to do with something.
Well, you might think of it again. So what was the next?
What are the drawbacks to a shared
campaign? The drawbacks of shared campaigns are definitely that, and you have to be flexible if you DMs or a group that does this. The DMs that participate.
I remember what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
It keeps things, I think, from becoming rote for that dungeon master.
Yes.
Like, it keeps things fresh because, there's new things for you to have to deal with. So if you're not in the DM chair and you got DM number 2 taking over for a while, now all of a sudden there's different things. There's different story threads. There's different things popping up, changes in the world maybe that you didn't think about.
Exactly.
So it keeps it fresh for you also.
Yeah, and which then prevents the burnout.
A great comment.
That was huge. I can't believe I overlooked it, which I'm pretty sure I talked a little bit about that. But I
wasn't paying attention to you. So
exactly. So, but you're totally right about that, though, 100%. Because the current DM, when they're doing something, they're also going to be sitting there formulating what they're going to do with what's being laid down currently. You know what I mean? Because they'll be like, well, hadn't thought about that. And it spins something off in a completely different direction for them, thusly keeping it fresh and new for them as well. So, but like we were saying, one of the major drawbacks that will come out of this, and like I was saying, is you have to have buy-in mostly from the people who are going to be doing the dungeon mastering. And that is, they got to be flexible with it, because they might have it might not even be concrete, because you start to lay down these what ifs when you're doing prep and you're starting to tell your story. You're like, the king's cousin, maybe I'm going to make him a villain some kind of way. You start maybe thinking about that, but you haven't really laid any groundwork down for it. You just been, gave it a little bit of thought. The other DM takes it over and goes, "Oh, the king's cousin fell off the castle wall. He's dead. Damn it!" But you got to be flexible enough, in that something like that is no big deal for you.
I would think that there are a lot of DMs that would have trouble with that.
There are. That's why this is not very prevalent. You got to have the right DMs there to do it. And of course, you're going to have to have communication.
Have a dictatorial way of thinking and like to hold on to their ideas in the story with an iron fist.
Well, we're not talking about the way you DM. Okay.
Oh. Is that not normal then?
Actually, believe it or not, that is pretty normal. There lots of dungeon masters, they're pretty, that's their babies. That's their stories.
That's why they're like, that's how many times do you see, and I fucking hate when people say this, my table.
Yes.
Those my table people.
Not at my table.
Yeah. Those my table. Fuck you. It's the whole group's table. The my table people would never
Definitely.
Do a shared.
You are correct. They will never, ever do this because they can't. They don't have it within them to do that.
Right.
And if you're one of those DMs, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that you're a bad dungeon master. That I'm just saying that. Okay, Adam's going to say you're a bad dungeon master. I'm just going to say that this is definitely not something for you because it takes a lot out of your hands. And that's one of the other things is that there's a lot of opportunity for things to get chaotic and out of control with multiple dungeon masters.
Now, how much prep is done between the multiple, because it could be more than two, multiple dungeon masters?
There you go.
And is it just up front? Is it during the campaign? How does that work?
I
just blew your mind, didn't I?
Well, because the thing it is I'm about to get into a Will typical answer, and I know you're not going to like it. But
well, sometimes
I personally would have to have.
That's my Will impression. Did you like that? Well, sometimes.
Whatever.
Sounds just like you.
Am I that nasally?
No,
I guess I am kind of.
I mean, a little bit. Not,
I do.
I am. The joke nasally. Was that didn't sound like you.
Yeah, no,
I'm not good at impressions. We learned.
I was holding you to that, though.
I mean, I'll still do it.
All right, fair enough. So basically, for me, okay, I would have to have periodic check-ins and talk things over with the co-DM periodically. I wouldn't necessarily say, be against anything. I would just be curious and want to know, and then more so too. Than to give them my ideas and then allow them to work with them and whatnot, and then have them give me their ideas back too. So I for me personally, I would have to have an ongoing dialogue with that dungeon master, but only to an extent. And this is the other part that this is, when you have multiple DMs like that, the different DMs are going to be privy to a lot of different stuff.
Right. I was thinking that. It's got to be hard not to metagame that
exactly.
Also.
Yes, it is. So it depends. I mean, there's certain things that you have to have the trust of your other dungeon master. Let's put it this way. If I were playing a game and you were the co-DM,
right?
I'd want to see everything written down because I don't trust you for the shit.
I don't write down anything.
But no, I would trust anything you do because I trust your D&D judgment. So it would not be that big a deal with me. So it would be something along the lines of I maybe suggest something or ask a question, and if the response back is,
let's say,
can't tell you,
none of your business.
Yeah, if I were to get that back, I'd be like, okay, cool, I could totally respect that. You know what I mean?
But I would tell everybody else at the table.
Oh, well, there you go. But
so only you wouldn't know.
That's fair enough. But then there's other people that I've gamed with in the past where I know for a fact I couldn't share and have a joint or a multiple dungeon master experience with that person. It wouldn't work.
Why is that? And you don't have to say who, but we like naming names here.
I know we do. Because they're
Adam Coble. Would you be able to work with him?
Sure, I totally would. I don't know if Adam could with me. To tell you the truth, I mean, I think
working with you is very difficult, generally speaking. Anyway,
yeah, I know, right? I mean, I there's something that when we record later on this evening, I'm going to have to retcon a little bit.
Well,
it's not really retconning. I have to give some explanation so that everybody, it's, you know, and it's not for the players, it's for the viewers. I want to make sure that they're 100% on board.
Okay, that's fair.
That's all.
Little tease for whatever the fuck it is we're talking about.
There you go.
We're going to be filming, just so you know, a classic Marvel superheroes RPG game called Saturday Morning Superheroes. I almost forgot what it's called.
You fucking kidding me, really?
And you can see it Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
That's right.
Eastern time, right here.
Here.
On Twitch.
Yeah.
And you can see now the first 5 on YouTube. I'm working on the last 3. I forgot. I got stuck at 4 and didn't upload any for a while, but I'm doing that now.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, I have 3 Tales of Savage Lands to get up.
What's that?
Anyway, so
that was your chance to plug.
Oh, that was my chance to plug. My bad. And you have to explain these things to me. Cool. You got to hold up the card, you know. And then I have
cards because it's 2000 and something, 19.
Yeah, I got to check the teleprompter.
Almost 2000.
Tales of Savage Land is the Savage Worlds game that is played every Wednesday here, 9 p.m. Eastern time on this here Twitch channel, Wicked Studios LLC.
Wow, we got a lot of content here.
We do. Okay, so enough plugging. So yeah, there are definitely are people that I couldn't DM with, and these are, for me, this is just me. Mm-hmm. This is not a criticism of this type of person.
Okay,
but
you're
type
A, Kobold now.
Type A people.
Is his name Kobold? Like the thing? What's his name?
No.
Kobold?
Adam Kobold.
Kobold. Okay, I think I've been calling him Kobold.
That's right. He's used to that.
I like his first name.
I should hope so. But type A people who are very meticulous with their notes and how things are, these would be the type of DMs that, like, they would probably be the ones coming to me wanting to know, okay, well, what about this? What about that? You know,
and you'd have no answers.
Well, I would have. Well, you're right. I might not, because I generally go with gut feeling on a lot of different stuff. I have directions when I DM that I'm intending the story to go, and a lot of stuff is spur of the moment and off the cuff. You know, I have an idea. I know where I want the story to end. I know what I would like to happen along the middle, but the line that connects A to B and then B to C isn't necessarily always planned out with. It's just not the way I do it. I find it easier to DM that way. There you go.
What about Matt Mercer? Could you co-DM with him?
Sure. I would feel bad for him.
How about who's another DM? Matt, the other guy, Colville.
Nah, I couldn't do it. Colville.
Why?
Colville seems like a really nice guy.
Come on! We're supposed to be controversial.
Oh, controversial! I don't like his DM style.
Oh, there you go. Bring it. Bring the wood.
Bring the wood.
We're putting you on notice, Matt Colville. Matt Mercer and Adam Colville, you get a pass. But Matt Colville.
Here's the thing, too. I got to say this. I got to put a little.
He's got a good head of hair, though, Matt Colville. Have you seen his
hair?
He
does.
That's a good head of hair.
Yeah, it's from 2 guys. Yeah,
this is what we love. Really, all love 3 of them are very...
Actually, all 3 of them do have a lot of hair. Assholes.
That's why my favorite DM is Chris Perkins,
Mr. Baseball Cap himself.
He's bald.
But
I like me a good bald DM.
I got to say, I got to put an asterisk on that, because I'm speaking strictly from I'm consuming these guys as a viewer.
Right.
You don't know
what they're like behind the scenes.
I don't know what it's like. Here you go, Adam. You're going to like this. I don't know what it's like to sit at their table. You know, because, like, being a player in one of their games, I might love it. And at the same time,
that's a different conversation.
Yeah, and at the same time, somebody who I enjoy watching their games, I might not like at all, being an actual player. And you never really, you don't really, you can have an inkling of an idea, but you won't know until you actually sit at their table. Yeah, I did it again.
Why do people say that? Can we go off topic a little bit? Why do they say that?
It's the DM power trip. That's all it is. It's the 100% the DM's power trip. Yeah, it's the same reason behind why you see all these different posts about how do I teach my players a lesson. It's like, I had these players of mine, and they were in this vampire game, and it's the vampires are undercover, and I told them this, and they're supposed to go in and be real quiet about it. And the first thing they do is they go into the city and they start going to a tavern. And God, I'm doing it almost verbatim. Somebody's gonna know who the hell I'm talking about.
Who is it? Drop the name.
And they just start calling out, "Hey, does anybody know where there's any vampires in here?" And
Drop
so
the name.
forth
Who
and
is
so
it?
on. And then he was talking about. So his idea was, after
God
doing
damn
that,
it, pay attention to me.
I
demand satisfaction.
See, this is how a relationship goes. One has to pay attention to the other. The other doesn't have to pay attention to the other.
Usually I'm the one who doesn't pay attention to you.
I know, right? So, but anyway,
I don't like this role reversal that we got here.
His answer to that was he was talking about whether or not it was okay to have assassins come in
and kill his players,
and kill his
they
players.
didn't do what he wanted them to do.
Well, not because now his rationale for this.
Who was this, by the way?
It's some dude. It's not a big heavy.
I don't even care if no one's ever heard of him. I want a name and I want it now.
Okay, Tom Barker. How about that? You're like that?
Making that up.
No, I'm not. Tom Barker was his name.
I don't believe it.
I don't know if it's his real name. There you go.
Was his name really Tom Barker?
It's Tom Barker.
See, here's the problem now. I don't believe a word you say.
You don't believe a word I say anyway. So Tom, what Tom was talking about is because the vampires control this world, the city, and because the players came to the city asking, "Hey, where are the vampires at? We're here to hunt down some vampires. You need to tell us about
As you
this."
do.
And we're not subtle about how they were searching for them at all. The vampires would know. They would find out. And so the vampires, overrated. So then the vampires should be able to hire assassins to go and take care of the problem. That is totally legit.
That's reasonable.
That is totally legit and reasonable. Now, here's the thing.
But his only reason is to teach his players a lesson, not for the actual story.
Well, both. It was for both. It was both. But here's the thing. Okay, so yes, totally legit in how for it to a response for that. Totally. But he needs to know his players better. The game that
he was... say he needs to know his place. I thought you were throwing down against Tom Barker. Tom Barker, you're now on notice.
Tom Barker, that's right. He was.
Did you make that name up? Is that really his name?
His name's Tom Barker. So anyway, he needs to know his players better and write an adventure for your players. And don't get me wrong.
Maybe it's fine for them to do it this way. Maybe you're not teaching them a lesson. Maybe this is the way the story goes. Maybe this is like, the Pink Panther instead of James Bond. Like
right? Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like I think knowing your players and doing the game for
I've
how
never
your
watched
players
a Pink
play.
Panther movie, by the way. Is it like a James Bond spoof? Is that what that is, right?
Yes. Oh, my God.
Good. I've never really watched too many James Bond movies. I think I've watched 2 or 3 James Bond movies tops.
I don't. That's okay. Some of them
Not
are great.
Fan.
I think we're completely off topic right now.
No, we're still on topic.
Are we? Okay, cool.
No, we're not.
What's the next question?
How do you know when to change up adventures, a.k.a. change up the DM? You forgot what we were talking about, didn't you? We're still talking about...
Yeah, I do. The viewers
we're still talking about shared worlds.
Yes. I think the number one way to do it is basically either set it for time. Everybody's got X amount of time. You will run for X, and then at the end of that,
what if
we just automatically
storyline isn't done yet?
Well, then you just fidget a little and just go a little bit longer until you come to that stopping point. Or you could do it when people are starting to feel like burnout, or one of the other DMs is like, I'm kind of getting a hankering to play a little, and then the other guy just steps in.
Did you ever do a shared world campaign?
Yes, I've done a number of them. First one I did, this is way back when
Tom Baker?
Barker.
Whatever the fuck.
That's can't even get it right.
Anyway.
See, this is why I know for a fact you're probably a terrible liar.
I'm not a good liar.
You can't remember the details of your lies to keep them straight.
So you can't even bother. It's not worth it.
Yeah, the first one
I get caught very easily. Yeah,
this is good to know. The first one I did was back when I owned my coffee shop. I did it with some of my customers, And part of the reason that it came about to do a shared one was because I was running a fucking coffee shop. You know, I was running my game store / coffee shop.
Settle down.
And I was like, well,
so much coffee there before that.
Easy, Barker.
Settle down, Tom Barker.
But basically, it was like
I'm gonna teach you a lesson, Tom Barker. What do you think of that?
There you go. But I didn't have the time, you know. So we came up. We did the round robin. We did the shared world, and it was a pirate world. Yep. Mm-hmm. And we played an extremely flexible RPG called The Window.
Never.
Go look that up. Yeah, no, a lot of people haven't. So, it was pirate theme. I don't know if I said that, but
you said it.
Did I? Okay, well there it is again. And then the most recent one that I was playing in was with my Monday night group, which is no more. We had started playing a shared Planescape one.
I thought you hated Planescape.
I don't like Planescape. The reason I did it was because everybody else was on board with it, and I was like, okay. I was like, I'll play along. I can have fun anywhere, but I just won't be really happy about the setting. So, but yeah. So
speaking about not being happy, we're out of time. So
gotta go.
So anyway, have you at home or wherever you are? I don't know where you are. I don't have cameras on you yet.
Dude, why would you say that?
Shit, you're right. I'm supposed to keep that secret.
Right? What the fuck's wrong with you?
This is why I have a problem. Yeah.
I knew we shouldn't have brought you in on that meeting. I was telling the guys in the room. He's like, you know, Adam's just going to spill it to everybody.
Damn it. Anyway, but until we do get the cameras up and running, we don't know where you are. But wherever you are, at home or somewhere else, tell us, what do you think about shared campaign worlds? Have you ever participated in one? Been a DM or a player in one? What did you think of it?
And how did you do it specifically? That was what I'd be really interested in.
Wow, that's a lot of typing you want them to do.
Yes.
Just give us the general idea. Don't
No, I want specifics. I want if there was a particular way
this goddamn thing's going to be shut off. This poor bastard's going to be typing away, and then the chat's going to be gone.
Hey,
this is the end. You should have told us in the beginning. This is
the
end of the show.
They can find it on YouTube and put it up there. You can leave comments on Apple. We're on Apple. Did you tell anybody about that? No, you didn't.
We're on iTunes. I told them.
Yeah, we're on iTunes. Oh, did you? Okay. I'm sorry.
You could find us on iTunes.
Yes,
as well as other podcasts.
Spotify. Anyway.
So anyway, what do you think? Do you like them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? I'm talking about Will.
Everybody loves me.
That's true. You're very lovable.
I am a likable guy.
So we'll see you guys.
My exes.
Yeah, you're lovable to many, but not to all.
Not to all. All right. Anyway. All right.
Are you a woman in prison? Well, then
shut up.
Will DM. Chances are.
I do need a new pen pal. Anyway, are we supposed to sign off now?
We are. So for Will DM, I'm Adam. This has been the Down Roll.
Bye.
We will catch you guys next time.
Peace out.
Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Shit. Don't leave yet, because we're going to say we have new tomorrow night. We're going to be debuting. I love when you try to figure out the time of this. You can see your eyes.
See a cricket in my eyes?
Yeah. Tomorrow night, we debut our new Greyhawk Adventures show called Into the Dreadwood.
That's all Adam right there.
I named it because Will didn't get a name. You can't have a show without a name.
Yeah.
So we'll put a little trailer up after this. Why not?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what we should do.
So anyway, stick around for that, and we will see you guys next time. We'll see you tomorrow for Greyhawk Adventures. Into the Dreadwood.
Kudat.
Bye.
now the tale of an ancient evil, clawing its way into the world where no one suspects. Innocents are being lured to their doom. Can the druids and the rangers of the Dreadwood be able to contain it? Or will the evil spread? Will those sworn to protect the inhabitants of the region and the very forest itself become the servants of this wickedness? Or simply die trying to stop it?